Women, it's time. We need you to take over everything across the board. Men have been dominating the human species for 10 to 12,000 years. No one asked them to. I don't think anyone took a vote on it. But the results, terrible, awful results with this experiment. Most people aren't aware that we have a close primate cousin called the bonobo. We share 99.8% of our genetics with them, just like chimpanzees. Chimps are a male-dominated species. They're violent, they wage war on neighboring groups, and they force females to mate with them through violence and aggression. Bonobos are a female-dominated primate species.
That's what he wants us to be.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
The idea of being dominated by the female species to him in the human race just makes him feel good. I can't believe this shit. Simping has reached an all-time high. All-time high.
Coalitions of female bonobos team up to keep aggressive males in check. They're hypersexual. That sounds fun. And most importantly, I really want you to listen to this part so it sinks in.
This dude.
No one has ever observed a bonobo killing another bonobo. Ever. It's time for the experiment to end. Women, we need you to take over. Let me know what I can do to help.
You know, there's this idea that a nation that's ruled by primarily women cannot be possible without men like this, right? Men who are willing to look for other strong men, band up together, and figure out ways to bring them down. And I really do believe that men like this contributed to the situation we're in now. Broken families, society crumbling. Top comment here says, we shall keep this one. So he's over here pandering. If you guys want to just make plenty of money, get plenty of visibility on channels where you produce content, this is the way to go. Here's somebody else who says, we tried twice. Talk to your boys. Here, so they failed multiple times. Here's the thing. I think that women have this confused. I think there are more men who would be okay with the female president. They just came at either the wrong time or it just was the wrong choice. Now, I know there are plenty of men who voted for Kamala Harris. Tough thing to accept, but when I looked at the demographics and everything, it all made sense. Somebody else here says, literally, Earth, if women took over, so they think it would actually be heaven on earth if they were in charge. Somebody else here added, like this could be us. So they believe that women being in charge would resemble something that equals world peace. I did a video that highlighted queens of the past compared to kings. And the reality is always surprising to many people. Not only were they terrible leaders, but they were some of the most war-hungry and blood-thirsty rulers of their time. Somebody else who says, I'll leave this here. Okay. So patriarchy, of course. Here you have domination, separation, individualism, the hierarchy, greed, exploitation. To matriarchy, you have regeneration, love, community, reciprocity. Life is sacred. Gift economy, balance, mother-centered. Oh, man. Here we go. They have this right here to show what life would look like. I really do wish we could have one country try this out so people could realize how ridiculous of a fantasy this actually is. It would be over. Quick shout out to the sponsor of this channel, fathershaverights.com. Dad thought kindness would count for something. He paid her bills, paid her car, and even covered her rent. But when the system reviewed his paperwork, they did not see his sacrifice. They saw his income. In fact, his child support doubled. And the father who had done everything right walked out of court that day feeling like a criminal for caring too much. Think of how many dads would have made a different decision if they knew ahead of time how the system really works. That's why fathershaverights.com is creating the custody prep guide for men, presented to you by expert attorneys to help fathers know what to do, what not to do, and how to protect themselves at every step of the custody process. Click the link pinned to the top of the comments. Join the waiting list for the custody prep guide for men.
Women are the new hustlers. Women are the new hustlers. You niggas got so goddamn sorry. Y'all done turned these women to providers. getting jobs women don't even supposed to have. CDL, driving big wheelers down the highway, welding license, HVACs, construction site jobs, walking around toting big bricks all day. Because they know they can't rely and depend on you niggas. Because y'all ain't hitting on shit. It ain't worth the fuck. Women are...
He's getting his money, man. Top commenter says, I mean, there she is. It's a strong, independent woman with the pink hard hat, too. Shout out to that. Somebody else, she says, pregnant and trucking. Good luck, ma'am. That's kind of wild.
Patriarchies are natural while patriarchies are violently manufactured. Let's take the example of many apex predators. Orcas, lions, bears, especially black bears, are all matriarchal. Even our distant cousins, the bonobos, also live in a matriarchal society. When I say patriarchy is violently manufactured, I mean that it is enforced through violence, through policing, through surveillance. For example, religion, colonialism, and medicine as being ways to manufacture this patriarchy. Let's take, for example, the Catholic Church, and that women cannot be priests and that a woman will never be a pope. Let's think about medicine and how that is related to witch hunts and how that's related to demonizing women practicing herbalism and being midwives and having men control medicine.
If we lived in a matriarchal society that was run by women, what would the man's role become?
If I'm being totally honest with you, I don't think it would flip. I think it'd be the same concept because there are things that men can do that women can't, and there are things that women can do that men can't. And men are the ones that are supposed to be the provider. That's been how it has been for last however long. They have different strengths, they have different weaknesses, just as women do. And I think if it were to be a matriarchal society, women would feel as though that they should be the powerhouse. And I don't think that's necessarily what our generation in today's world can say is 100% the truth.
Here she is, another trucker. Mind you, I don't want to be that provider, but I ain't gonna sit around and wait for a man to buy me a house. So that is not a good idea, right? Sitting around for a man to buy you a house. Here she is, had to. Shout out to all these strong women over here. I love it. There we go. Right, strong women. We love to see it. Beautiful. Here we go. All right, be careful up there, lady. Be careful.
Until women collectively get real and face their own shadows, I don't want to live in an all-women's world or any sort of matriarch, because we would literally destroy each other. And that's a harsh truth that a lot of women know is true, but don't want to admit about themselves. The thing is, this truth is often denied because women don't want to face the uncomfortable truths about themselves. This is something I had to go through to get to the point where I'm at in my life, which is why conversations like this don't trigger me, because I know that it's true, because I dealt with my shadows. I can collectively exist with other women. It's just that sometimes they have a hard time existing with other women who have dealt with those things, who have elevated, because it serves as a trigger to what they have not dealt with within themselves. But without self-awareness and accountability, women cannot coexist with each other in a healthy way. And we all know that that's true.
So what else do we have here? W, the engineering degree. Okay. Men at the nail shop getting pedicures. Oh, there you go. This and the men. Electrician. All right. There you go. You got welder right there. Okay. Very nice. Yeah, keep it up. Keep it up. You're gonna need it. You're gonna need all those coins. At the end of this video, I'm gonna include the video I did that spoke about the female queens of the past. I think that one's a pretty good video.
I mean, if you're used to committing rape and getting away with it, or committing all these white-collar crimes and getting away with it, it's going to be a real bummer when you can't do that anymore.
Based on this research, they are more violent. Do you want more wars? Do you want more bloodshed? Do you want more chaos? Then you know what to do. Joseph YouTube, welcome to the Coffee Pot. My name is Chishi Zed.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
Question for you guys real quick. What would the world be like? What do you think the world would be like if women ruled the world? And by that, I mean ruled every part of the world entirely. Would the world be a better place? A lot of feminists have this conversation and they believe it definitely would. What do you think? Let's check out this video of this chick. She starts from the premise of answering why she believes a lot of men are afraid of women ruling the world. Do you agree? That's my question. Conversation down below. Let's get it.
I think men are afraid of women ruling the world for a couple reasons. The first one, I think, is that men are afraid that women will rule the world in the ways that men have. They're afraid we might rule with an iron fist and oppress them. That will limit and restrict their rights. That will treat them the way that they've treated us, will match their energy. But this is because a lot of men struggle to have empathy and compassion, and for women, that's our strong suit, sometimes to a fault. I also think these same men fear losing some benefits. If they're the ones benefiting, but the greater good isn't benefiting, that's scary to them. And I think women would come in and zoom way out and see the big picture and think, what will be in the greatest good of all? How can everyone benefit? And let's face it, they've been the ones making the rules. They're the ones that have also been exceptions to these rules. I mean, if you're used to committing rape and getting away with it, or committing all these white collar crimes and getting away with it, it's going to be a real bummer when you can't do that anymore. What if we find religions or cultivate religions where we're worshiping a woman? That's not going to be fun if you're a misogynist.
Wow. Wow. A lot was said there. So she said that we are, as men, afraid of a world where women rule because they might take away our rights to commit different kind of crime there. I'm not going to delve too deep into that. But here, okay, fine. Let's do it. Because what I find interesting, she talks about men getting away with rape. And recently, the weird things that I really can't talk about this too much on my channel. And a lot of people wonder, well, why can't you? There's just certain topics that will have your channel literally taken away. And a lot of content creators avoid those topics. One of those, female teachers who are getting caught with boys. And we're seeing more of that happen a lot more often. I'm saying that to say that painting men as the only gender that commits those type of atrocious crimes is disingenuous. We know it happens a lot on the other side as well. And then she goes on to mention one particular point that I thought was really interesting. She talks about how women are able to see things from a bigger picture. They're able to look around and wonder, how is this benefiting everyone as a whole? I find that really interesting because we live in a time where women are more influential when it comes to the type of laws and policies that are set up, more influential and involved than they've ever been in history. And the question is, what has that resulted everybody? When I say everybody, I'm talking about men. I'm talking about women. I'm talking about families. Our families doing better overall. Our children doing better overall. Our men doing better overall. Are women happier overall? No. No. In fact, I believe we've just created a more entitled and self-focused society. Hey guys, did you know that I'm on Facebook? Go ahead and hit that link pinned to the top of the comment section. If you're on Facebook, give me a follow. You can keep track of current content, shorts, and also older content if you are following me on Facebook. Appreciate you guys back into the video. So guys, I've got another video that I want to play you guys real quick. Before we get into that, let's check out some comments real quick. First comment here says, emotions make it hard to make cutthroat decisions. So this commenter is saying women are really emotional. Goes on to say, sometimes you can't make it where everyone wins. And you have to be cold and calculated in many situations in life. Very, very true. Mind you guys, these comments are in response to the chick who says women would be able to see things from a bigger picture instead of just fulfilling their own greed of power, is what a lot of feminists like to use. Another comment here says 100% solid points right here. Another comment here says, yes, I've been with an insecure man who fears my personal power. Somebody else here says, I agree with this. Here's another comment that says, if you were ruling, what would be your first action? I'm curious if she answered that. Hold on a second. I gotta find it. Let me see. All right, guys. So I checked her profile. I looked underneath that comment. She didn't respond to that comment. So let's keep going here. Another woman here who agrees with her says something needs to change because nothing can last under this rule much longer. But we no longer live in a patriarchy. So the question is, with all the progress we've made on the feminist front, this is where we've ended up now. People are more miserable, families are more broken than ever, and here we are. Anyways, I thought another content creator who I'm going to actually pin to the top of the comment section here did a good job responding back to her video, and we're going to get into that. Let's get it.
First of all, if you actually understood history, you'd know we've had female rulers before. And if you actually took a good look at history, you would notice that female rulers are actually 20% more likely to be warmongers.
Look at that. Warmongers, he says. Look at that title at the top. It says, "Don't mess with a queen," with the exclamation mark. Female rulers over the past 500 years have waged war more often than kings. More often than kings.
Mainly because women are far less likely to actually have to go to war or to have been to war. Most of the kings throughout history were also warriors who fought with their men. As such, they were way more cautious in actually engaging in war. Women just sent men to do their dirty work, so they were more trigger happy with starting one.
Makes sense. Let's check out this article because I'm curious now. I'm going to pull it up here. Let's go find it. All right, so here we are. Of course, there's the title. I'm just going to summarize it here. It says, female rulers over the past 500 years have been 27% more likely to wage war than male counterparts, with queens often winning new territory and showcasing a penchant or preference for military actions even when ruling solo. So they wanted to be specific there and say even when they're ruling solo, they're still more vicious, bloodthirsty. But this reminds me of the statistic of the DV increase when it comes to same-sex couples that are female. They have the highest DV cases. I mean, take two emotional people and put them in a room together. What do you think you're going to get? Let's keep listening. Don't be mad at me. Be mad at the article. Drink the coffee.
Drink the coffee. It'll make you feel better.
Goes on to say female rulers historically are more inclined to wage war than male rulers. Married queens, especially warlike, frequently engaged in warfare. Queens often managed foreign and war policies while husbands handled state management. Queens' territorial success attributed to their management style and division of labor. Female rulers, including solo queens, showed aggression in pursuing war policies independent of spouses. They made sure they put that in there. Independent of their spouse, they would show aggression in pursuing war policies. Examples like Isabel I of Castile and Elizabeth I of England demonstrate female rulers' military prowess and territorial gains. Research challenges the notion that women leaders are inherently less violent than men. Based on this research, they are more violent. Do you want more wars? Do you want more bloodshed? Do you want more chaos? Then you know what to do. Let's check out some of these comments. First comment here says, yeah, before I dropped out of college, I did an extensive essay on this for history class. It was honestly an interesting piece of history. Somebody else here says, thank you for this. I get tired of telling people this. Listen, guys, as always, I'm curious to know, what do you think? Leave your comments down below. I appreciate you, as always, for checking out yet another episode of The Coffee Pot. Till next time, I'm out. Peace. Hey, guys, as always, I appreciate you for checking out yet another episode of The Coffee Pod. To my currently engaged or soon to be married men, if you need a prenup and would like a guide that shows you how to get a solid and legally binding prenuptial agreement, hit the link pinned to the top of the comment section and access your guide at fathershaverights.com today.